guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber Fresh from Kyuujin, and today we are back at guys with House of Dragon. Episode 3.
So last episode, Rhaenyra learned what it meant to be the heir, but she's the only one who takes herself seriously. No one is really listening to her. They're calling her a child. They're dismissing her as a woman. She is the heir mainly because they wanted to get rid of Daemon, who has taken Dragonstone and declared he's a true heir, and he's saying he's getting married and he's got a child on the way, which is not true, but he's saying eventually it will happen. Rhaenyra really tried to make everyone listen to her, and so when Daemon stole an egg for his potential future child,
she took a big risk to get it back without bloodshed.
he went over there with her dragon, and it worked because Daemon cares about her. But that's a big it's a big luck on her side here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the king was being told he had to remarry quickly to get more heirs and stuff, and he was given a choice to marry Lena, who is the daughter of Lord Valerian, so the husband of the queen who was not. So
Rhaenys.
yeah, and she's really young. She's like 12, and this was awkward. So in the end, he declared he was gonna get married, but with Alicent. That surprised Rhaenyra. Otto Hightower is
still best friend.
Otto is really happy, but everyone else is mad, and I'm still forgetting his first name, but Lord Valerian has decided to team up with Daemon.
Cloris or something?
I don't remember, but his name starts with a C. Yeah, that I remember.
I think it's Cloris.
In any case, he has gone to Daemon, and we're thinking he's gonna have Daemon fight off the guys who are causing trouble.
Crab feeder.
Yeah, and that will gain him support, and he'll show that he could be a better king than his brother. So this is pretty much where we are. Rhaenyra has just found out that her best friend is gonna marry her dad. So yeah, let's jump in this episode and see how she reacts. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these episodes, and check out our Patreon for the full-length reactions.
In the meantime, let's go. Honestly, do you prefer this intro or the Game of Thrones one?
This one is cool.
Yeah?
I think I prefer the Game of Thrones one because it shows us the whole of Westeros, and whenever Dany was in Essos, it gave us Essos too. So since we were all over the world, it showed us the sets. So whereas for this, it's really cool. It looks amazing, but it's basically just King's Landing. Unless it's, is it the Red Keep?
It is.
I know,
it is King's Landing.
Because it could also be Valyria. I know,
Valyria?
Because the king, we thought he had made King's Landing. The last episode he said it was old Valyria.
True.
He is crazy looking.
It is coming for you! No, please!
Ouch! Didn't know crabs were this vicious.
This is food.
It will be a long, painful death.
Oh, Daemon?
Yeah.
It will look like a savior, right? I was about to say it looks like your own Greyjoy for a bit.
Just like, what's stopping him from burning you two by accident, man? Yeah, well.
He didn't see you, buddy. All the smoke is the night.
Well, he's not really here to save them. He's here to show that he's, making the right choices.
That
Casualties.
guy was saying, "Thank you, Prince Daemon, for saving our lives."
Yeah, this, if you're not careful, this is dangerous.
It's been that long,
We're really jumping ahead.
2 years old.
and now he has a boy.
2 years. So, at least 3 years since last episode.
But quite a party assembled in his honor. And surely by the end of this hunt, we shall have more to celebrate. It only remains for Viserys to name him heir to the throne. I wouldn't be so sure.
Will he, though? It'd be nice if he left his daughter as heir.
Can someone tell me where in the seven hells Rhaenyra might be?
Under the dragon's eye.
She does not want to be a part of this party.
Play it again.
It's the 50th time, princess.
Her heart broken for those.
Basically, it's like her MP3 playing over the same song over and again.
It speaks to my soul, sing it again.
Rhaenyra, your presence is wanted in the outer courtyard. Decided to remain here and read instead.
Yeah, you're no longer my friend.
The king wishes for you to join us. Is it the king's command? Yes, but then at once, your grace. None of it needs be this way in truth, Rhaenyra.
I mean, I get it. She's trying to still kind of be her friend, but you can be her friend and commend her like her queen, even though you are. Treat her like a child, even though she is.
She is a child also. They're the same age.
I know.
You should ride out with me today. Join in the chase.
Rather not.
How would you like to participate?
I'm not sure why I must.
Because you are my daughter, and you have duties.
As the heir.
Ceaselessly reminded. No one's here for me.
She's the eldest, but she feels like second best again.
She's always has been second best.
Like,
Unfortunately.
she's still the heir, but people dismiss her all again still. Like, they're seeing the baby and they're like, yeah, he's gonna be the heir, of course. It's a good thing her dad has not,
Changed his mind, but everybody else is set to push her aside.
She probably feels like it's a matter of time. And it's not just about the throne, it's about being second best in the eye of your dad. Like, you're not enough. Even though she understands, it hurts. If I'm not mistaken, I remember that George R. R. Martin was sad in Game of Thrones Season 1 that the hunt was not a bigger deal, because it's always meant to be a grand affair when the king does it, especially. So they did that in this season.
Oh, that's good.
My lord husband says that no king has ever been able to tame the Stepstones for long. Your dear uncle is the great mind behind this war.
I've not spoken to Daemon in years.
Since you supplanted him as heir.
The princess was more suited to the role.
He's made a mess and the king must put an end to it.
But the crown is not at war.
The crown is at war, princess. We've been dragged into it by your uncle and the sea snake.
And how have you served the rum of late, lady red wine, waiting cake?
The old lady has a point though.
Like, we talked about this last episode, the reasons why the king did not want to start a war. These people would agree. The war is bad for them. The people that are suffering over there, they're happy that Daemon started, fighting back. Those who are not affected don't give a shit.
True.
Except that they're losing money. It puts them at risk. They're like,
Is your own second named heir as grand as this?
I honestly don't recall, and neither will Aegon.
Lord Jason Lannister.
Oh, keep away from him, girl.
You should have known with the red and the blonde hair.
My father's counsel.
Another twin.
Wonder if they love each other very much.
The rock is thrice the height of the high tower in Old Town.
It must be quite something.
Clearly making a move on her.
Of course, but I do have the means and resources to build one.
That's not because he's a Lannister that he's obviously.
Oh, no.
I'd do anything for my queen or lady wife.
Well, that's it.
You're
Keep away. Shoot.
You're assuming a lot. But she is. She was 15 last episode, so she is getting old. She should be married, and no one is, right now, no one has said anything about that.
Jason Lannister is an excellent match.
He's arrogant and self-serious.
Like all Lannisters.
I've been slowly drowning in a lake of parchment. Marriage proposals all. And I have tried often to discuss it with you.
That is because I do not wish to get married.
Even I do not exist above tradition and duty, Rhaenyra.
Excuse me, Your Grace.
This is not the place to make a scene. Even more so when
You
you're
must
the
marry.
king and the princess.
Unfortunately, that's kind of how it works.
Yes.
The Royal Huntsman has sent a report, Your Grace. There's been a sighting of a white hart. The stag is the king of the King's Wood, Your Grace, a regal portent for Prince Aegon's name day.
How is he with his wounds? Do you think that are still...
He's still up and walking. It's probably not getting better.
Are we gonna have something with our kingsguard? The one that we chose like 3 years ago?
I expect him to do something, at least be close a little bit. He is close just by being in the Kingsguard, but I said it last episode, he's young, he's handsome, he's
But
interesting.
he does seem to have a good art.
We don't know him much, so... What are you gonna do? Catch her by the air?
father, trying to sell me off to Jason Lannister. Was I named heir to the Iron Throne, so that I might only further raise the standing of a Lord of Castle Rock.
I totally get it.
Do you want me to kill him?
But I like him. You can't just marry whoever, though, like that's...
Any in the realm would gladly trade positions with you, Princess.
Yeah, but they don't know what it means.
True.
Only because none of them has ever held my position.
Yeah.
Maybe the Princess of Dragonstone, but I'm toothless.
You have enough power to write my name into the White Book. All that I have, I owe to you.
She can still make some changes.
Yeah, but then we also know that the only reason why that happened was because they did not want her to speak on
In the council?
important matters. Same as last episode, she is heir, but
Only in name.
Yeah, and she's still being used as a tool, while everyone else is saying that her brother is gonna take over instead.
The beast is upward of 35 stone. We now have his trail. White Hart was the symbol of royalty in these lands.
And on this day of all days, if the gods did wish to show their favor.
He's good. A subtle way to, you know, turn his
Okay.
eye toward his
The
son.
gods favor your son.
Royalty. Ooh. I mean, I'll give him that. He loves his daughter. And I hope he's gonna, you know, stick by her and keep her as his heir. Even though I know how much trouble that will cause whenever he dies. And I have, by the way, remembered who Joffrey was talking about in Game of Thrones. So,
I would be honored to take the Princess Rhaenyra to wife.
She does not.
Rhaenyra may take her place there by my side without shame and feel herself well compensated for her loss in station.
What loss of station?
because he's assuming he wrote.
If you were to name young Aegon
Yeah.
heir, Your Grace.
And when would I be doing that?
Oh, thank you. For her sake, thank you.
Many of us had assumed.
Many of us, you say.
Everybody, you mean?
It is your sworn duty to report rebellion stirring in my kingdom.
At least I can give him that
I
to
did not
him.
decide to name Rhaenyra my heir on a whim.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but at least he's sticking to his word.
There is another choice beyond Castle Rock, one closer to home.
Oh, do not wither to your son.
Prince Aegon.
He's just a babe.
No, but
Old Targaryen
again,
tradition.
no, but again, it's not stupid.
Boy just turned 2 on her.
Yeah, but he would make sure that his current heir would marry his grandson. He's a good player. He's clear, like he's not subtle at all. We've seen better players, but
He's
right now
really pushing it in his face.
yeah, but he's trying.
King Jaehaerys ruled over half a century of peace while his children drove him to the edge of madness.
In the words of the great Ned Stark, war was better than daughters.
It would seem to me the best match for Rhaenyra is the son of the Sea Snake. Laenor is of pure Valyrian descent,
Would be better than him marrying the 12-year-old.
and he is the heir to the wealthiest house in the realm. It would do much to assuage Lord Corlys of any
Corlys.
slights real or imagined.
I like him. He's not stupid.
He's a
Pray,
good
of
counsel.
course, that Laenor survives the fighting in the Stepstones.
You must aid the Stepstones, maybe?
He has been subtly saying that that's what he should have done all this time. Because he's losing an important ally and he's allowed Daemon to become the hero in the eye of a lot of people.
Do you think the realm will ever accept me as their queen?
There will
I have no
always be
choice
people
but
to
to,
doubt, to judge.
Usually I will say,
Did they find...
show them.
Hey!
Ooh, careful! Ooh. That one is the ancestor that killed King Robert.
He's old as shit.
Come on, Rhaenyra!
She'll come back.
Boar.
She'll come back with the boar with the blood, like,
What the fuck happened?
I named her to protect the realm from Daemon because I no longer believed. When Rhaenyra was a child, I saw it in a dream. A male babe born to me, wearing the conqueror's crown. And I so wanted it to be true.
led to the death of your wife.
My obsession killed Rhaenyra's mother. I thought Rhaenyra was the way out of my abyss. That naming her heir would begin to set things right.
Oh, it did.
I never imagined I would remarry. And I would have a son.
It's not her fault, though. You're putting a lot on her shoulders. He loves his daughter, but he regrets naming her heir before the birth of a son who could have been the one in his dream. Like, that's... And she keeps proving herself. I feel so bad for her.
This is not a hunt.
May not be white nor great. Things a big lad.
Yeah, that's not the white heart that they talk about.
For the kill.
Honestly,
So much for a sign.
killing like this is dishonorable.
It's about decorum. It's you don't want to put the king in danger or anything. Like it's
risking killing him.
It's not so much like they're not hunting for food so much as they're hunting for the act of it. And there's the difference between, I know like that's how things are, but it's still a big difference between her and her dad. Whereas they have to guide him, show him what to do, and he's you know feeling bad about it and stuff. She kills for survival. She does things when she has to.
Yeah. Compared to her dad, she's more of a action person.
Yeah, she gets herself dirty even though she didn't do this on purpose. Oh,
It is there.
the sign of royalty shows up to her.
Oh my god. That's a sign. Oh, it is beautiful.
He has chosen you.
You are the chosen one.
I take it as a sign. Like I said, magic is not as intense as we kind of imagine sometimes in this universe, but signs are. See, I killed you a boar.
All on my own. Everybody's gonna look at her and say, damn!
But, I mean, I'm hoping after a while they'll stop looking at her like a poor little girl who's to be dismissed.
I mean, Dad must come for some point for respect.
Like, she's coming back full of blood. She's like, respect.
Not liking her so much now?
But the hunters are like, huh, cool. And the nobles are like, ugh.
Lord Corlys and Prince Daemon are losing their war. This is a plea for aid.
You must answer.
Then why not send it?
Because it is a war started by two malcontents.
But
If I now provide Daemon and call his succor, what will that say of their king?
Perhaps that he is a good man who loves his brother. What do you believe, Viserys?
That you should help to anger one person, the pleasing of another.
that's what it means to be king.
simpler. Is it better for the realm if the crab feeder thrives or is vanquished?
True. Good question. You're not dumb.
And deliver this to Prince Daemon yourself.
At once, Your Grace.
Aid is sailing to the Stepstones.
Good.
Do you not think my decision correct?
It is no consequence to what I think.
Daemon is thorn enough in my flesh. Will you insist on taking after him? I was trying to help you.
Why must every effort on your behalf be resisted?
Because you mean to replace me with Alicent Hightower's son, the boy you always wanted.
You have misjudged me, Rhaenyra.
But that's what everyone else is thinking, so...
It is true that as rulers we must marry for advantage, to forge alliances and bolster our strength.
I wish to see you contented, happy even.
You think a man would do it?
A family.
I had a family.
What would you have me do?
If it was for advantage, you would have wed Lena Velaryon.
There it is. The anger I was waiting for.
You must marry. Strengthen your own claim. As to your match, make it yourself.
It's better than a lot of other girls get.
Well, Alicent just said that she will marry if it comes from her.
I'm glad that out of everyone, he
Rhaenyra,
still believes in her and he still tells her.
I did waver, but I swear to you now, you will not be supplanted.
Thank you. Can we trust you?
It all depends with everybody else, I guess.
That's the thing, that what he wants matters now. Once he's dead, it won't matter.
We've strafed them on Dragonback again and again, but they just retreat within the caves.
The crab feeder and his men have no reason to leave those caves.
We must give them one. An offering of flesh to bait the crab.
Which man here will happily go to his death?
Daemon.
Daemon is why we are
He's
losing.
just a madman.
He at least is fighting this war.
If you do not seize control of this war, my lord, the crabs will soon dine on all of us.
I bring word from His Grace Viserys Targaryen.
What is he gonna do? I don't know if his pride would allow him to get the help.
To get help from his own brother.
He might do something crazy.
Dude, did you not kill the messenger?
Yeah. Pourquoi moi?
Yeah, it's like his own brother is trying to take over control over what he's trying to achieve.
Well, that was his chance to be like, I'm the better choice and stuff.
Brother,
So for him to...
I have ordered 10 ships and 2,000 men to set sail from King's Landing. Know that it is not my desire to see you fail in your cause. I shall pray nightly to the gods for your safe return.
To accept that would mean accepting that he has failed and his brother has to come in, save the day, and get the rewards for the stuff he's been fighting for 3 years. You know, that's just, his pride can't take it. And so he has turned into the madman who will show up in the caves. So that would be Dark Sister?
No dragons in sight.
The song is unnerving me.
It is ominous.
Yep.
Come on, man.
I'll do it myself.
Fine.
He is said to have been a great warrior.
Run like the wind.
Honestly,
be like
though,
the wind.
like,
Be the wind.
no wonder Jon ended up being like a fucking good swordsman when he comes from 2 great lines with great fighters like that. It's in the genes. I'm wondering, like, they're not.
Believe it? It's like a one-man army.
They're not sending everyone after him. Why? Because they're afraid that if they all come out, the dragon will finish him off.
No, but they're shooting arrows.
That too.
They don't want to get their own man.
Woohoo! That was a lot of cement. That's a lot of men. I'm waiting for the head of dragon to do like whoop. I love what they chose to do with the sound here.
Yeah?
To make it muted. We're here, bitch. You came out.
Valeria?
I mean, I guess. You are a problem, man. We're going in. That's the guy they said would be marrying Rhaenyra, maybe.
Yeah, it's him.
Was that half of the crab feeder? Yep.
Oh boy.
1/4. I mean, for this.
Do you want to let go?
Respect. God damn. Kind of makes me think of his niece here.
Yeah, he's not scared of getting dirty and doing the job himself.
That's the thing. For 3 years, Viserys has not done one thing. I mean, again, I will say it. I'm playing the devil's advocate because I'm not taking one favorite over the other, because he's right, Viserys, when he says, I'm doomed to make one person happy and the other mad. Like, when you're the king, you have to be careful. You gotta do what you think is best, but you gotta also understand that there's always gonna be someone pissed. Still, there's, sometimes what you think is best might not be, like, the right decision for the future. In this case, I think that, yeah, okay, I get it. You did not want war, and your decision had been made back then, and they took opportunity. And after that, for you to join in and help would kind of give them reason. Like, they both cursed you and turned around and did things themselves, and then to join them would mean like, oh, okay, like I'm a weak king, can't make decisions for myself, and they're deciding and then I follow. Like, this is not what a king should do. So he was in a tough spot.
But still, at the beginning...
Yeah, we're not at the beginning though.
No, but 3 years before, the crab feeder was still attacking the sail ship and the sailman from one of his powerful ally.
Get that, but we talked about this. Like, just like the nobles are saying that Daemon has sent them to war, and he's, even though the crown was not fighting, he has still forced their hand and all that. Like, they also have reason, although their reason is probably more like, it's not for their personal safety. They don't really give a shit about the people dying over there. It's not affecting them personally, but it's a potential money problem, it's a potential reputation problem, it's them losing control, power, like it's all about their station and what they represent at court, and if that's in danger, they'll complain. Still, Viserys last episode did not want to do shit with this, because if you jump at the first opportunity of war, if you jump to war, it's not necessarily a good thing. To have an era of peace is a great thing. You would want to keep that going. You want to be the king who, kind of like Jaehaerys, you want to be king who's ruled for 50 years of peace, not the king that, started a war without thinking for some people that don't matter to others. Even though like the right decision could be clearly like, oh yeah, you're the hero, you go save those people, you got to think of the nobles who give you the money. Like, they're the ones that keep you rich and keep you working and stuff. Like, it's complicated when you're king. To go to war means spending a lot of money, sending men to die, so people will be mad, will curse you. If if you've got a husband or a dad who goes to fight and they die over there for something that you're not even linked to because you don't see the point, you would be pissed off. So war is not an easy solution. It's easy to judge now. It's easy to judge now because we clearly see how that's going to go against him now that Daemon has done this.
But still, as king of the 7 realms,
I agree.
Your power and your kingdom reach all of those realms.
I agree.
Even the Stepstones.
Okay.
This is part of your kingdom.
Let me put it this way then. If
someone attack a part of your kingdom and you do nothing about it, you may
Let me put it this way. You're king of the 7 kingdom. Something happens in the north. A house or whatever, bandits attack fucking Lord Manderley at White Harbor in Game of Thrones. Okay? Does Robert have to help Ned? Ned needs to be able to take care of his
If the Warden of the Lord is not able to defeat this opponent and you request the king aid,
I agree.
As his king, you should send men.
If it becomes big enough, you need to do something, kind of like with the Greyjoy Rebellion. Yeah, you got to do something and you got to help. But still, when it's early beginning of all that, he did not do shit. He sent people to try to negotiate and stop this.
And they killed them.
We don't know. Well, probably. But he's still trying.
They nailed them to the post.
I'm not going to judge too much because I understand that war cannot be the first response. Always.
I know that.
You gotta try other things because war also comes at a cost. There's no good answer.
I understand the concept of trying to do other stuff to avert wars, but when it's been 3
it's been 3 years. But now it's been 3 years, but when the problem arose, it had not been 3 years. Of course, Valerian, sorry again, I forgot his name. He wanted to, fight back. It's his place, it's his kingdom, it's his kingdom. It's his house that's being attacked. It's his ships. So yeah, it's personal for him. But as king, you can't technically jump to the aid of every lord that is facing trouble. I understand that when it gets to a point where it's serious, you gotta act, and he kind of did his thing. And yes, I am also judging him for not acting sooner, not seeing this coming, not acting. But I'm not gonna judge him completely for trying to avoid war. Now that it's been 3 years, I agree he should have done something, and he did. 3 years later, and I mean, it led to it's the same fucking dilemma. Like, it led to Daemon still winning the advantage and being the hero of the situation. But like, okay, let's take Daemon's circumstances. He chose to fight. Which, yes, the people who died over there, the people who suffered, they claimed his name, Prince Daemon. Yes, you're saving us. But then you go back to court and the people are cursing his name. And when you're king, I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying I agree, but when you're king, you gotta listen to everyone, and most of the time you listen to the nobles because they're the ones that pay. When you do that, you're not a king that's loved by the people, but you're a king that's loved by those who make you king. You gotta think, like, I love it when people are, want to be the hero and they want to do the right thing. This is what I love the most, and I usually, root for characters like that a lot. So those that would sacrifice, themselves and others that are willing to do it with them just to save the innocents. This is always a good story, but realistically, when you're king, you can't make hasty decisions based on one person's complaints. You know, sometimes you got to make the hard choice. And I'm not saying he's the best king. I'm not saying he's the best character or anything. Like, I'm not saying he's you know, I completely agree with him, but I don't want to do like you're doing, which is completely push him.
No. I'm not pushing down. I acknowledge the fact that yes, he should try for peace first. But as a king, he's way too passive.
He is way too passive.
He is not a man of action when he needs to be.
But again, it's also difficult because he's right. When Daemon joined the war, it became a lot more difficult because both he and Valerian, I'm going to call him Valerian, I'm sorry. But
Valerian? Corlys?
Corlys,
okay. Valerian.
Both he and Corlys, you know, decided to turn on their king. Daemon especially, you know, took fucking Dragonstone. He's defied the crown. He's named himself heir. He's refused to follow the rules and all of that. He took the fucking golden cloaks. So everything he's doing, technically we're not agreeing with that. So right now he's not an enemy per se because he's still his brother. And
he's doing
Viserys doesn't want to, you know, execute him or anything. But in the eye of the people, he's not a good person right now. So he chooses to fight the war to help Corlys. Corlys, who has, you know, been slighted. His daughter was looked over and stuff like that. He's been insulted. He turned to Daemon, the guy who people don't like at court right now. He's turned his back on the king and he's done things. He has a right to defend his land, but he has still allied himself with Daemon. By doing this, you're basically saying, fuck the king, fuck what he chooses. I'm doing things myself. And if the king had decided back then to be like, oh, okay, well, now that you're fighting, I guess I have to fight. And he's joining, in the eye of the people, he's saying he's a weak king. He's just strengthening that idea that we're saying that, oh, he's not acting or anything. He would have been acting out of, not necessity or, you know, out of his own ideas or wisdom or anything. He would have been acting because they forced his hand. And if they can do it, everyone can do it. So it got difficult for him right away. Where I do judge him completely is that while all of this is happening, he's a lot more focused on problems at home, which he's a good father. Like, he's trying to be a good father. I get it. This is cool. But he's kind of pushing away.
Pushing it aside?
Yeah, he's pushing aside his duty as king to, you know, to focus on his son, you know, being born, his name day, tourneys, drinking wine, his dreams and stuff. Like, this is important for sure. But we've said it while watching Last Kingdom. Sometimes when you're king, you gotta kind of push to the side your fatherly duties, which sucks. But you're kind of, when you're king, you're kind of like the father of the realm. So you gotta think of them too. So this is where I do judge him. When it comes to matters that are important, like what's going on here, he tends to be like, yeah, forget it. Like, I've been doing things. Like, yes, he has, granted, but he doesn't seem to care. He doesn't seem to care as much as he should, considering people were dying.
What I sort of dislike about his character is when member of his council try to tell him important stuff, like stuff that is happening, or try to give him advice, or like, you should probably do something about it. He just brush them aside, you know? Oh, don't bother me. This is my son's name day. This is his tournament. Yeah. We're going to hunt. This is not the time to talk about those matters.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't the time, but, I agree with that. Yeah.
If they try to do it now, it's because he's not listening previously, you know?
I agree with that. Like that guy, I don't remember who he is, but the guy who has twice now given him great advice about what he should do for his house, for his title, for his future. He has decided to completely ignore him both times. And I get it that it's hard. I get it that you don't want your daughter to hate you. I get all of that. I feel bad for Rhaenyra, thank you.
Yeah.
I wanted to mix Rhaenyra and Rhaenys. Like, that was weird.
Which one?
My
Alicent, Lena, Rhaenys,
no.
Rhaenyra.
My brain went places. He doesn't want to make Rhaenyra mad or anything, and I get it because I don't want her to be forced through anything, but unfortunately, it's making me think of a story I read that I love very much. It's about Game of Thrones. I do read fan fiction. I'm sorry if you don't take that seriously, but this
But
fan
sometimes
fiction...
you learn important matters from
No, but
fiction.
some fan fictions are so well written, and there was one I remember that discussed the idea of, you know, a good king that avoids war and doesn't make the hard choices while he's alive, so when he's dead, unfortunately, his death creates a lot of problems for everyone else that's left behind. This is kind of what I'm seeing here. Like, by trying to be a good father, by trying to give her what she wants, by not acting and not, you know, making decisions himself, he's allowing others to make decisions. And unfortunately, he's putting his daughter in a position where later on she might be in danger. Like, just the fact that, yeah, okay, I get it. You gotta remarry. You gotta strengthen your line. You only have one heir. I get it. It's hard. To remarry is a good thing, but then the strategic decision would have been to marry the 12-year-old. As disgusting as it is. Because it's the richest house in the fucking Seven Kingdoms.
And like they said, it would have
strengthened the bond. Given him a good reason. Given him a good reason to go fight over there without the little lords at court, you know, screaming like, oh, I mean, it's not important. Like, if you do it for him, why don't you do it for us and stuff? No, because if he's married to her, he's got a good reason to go fight for them. It would have been the best strategic choice, but as a, you know, as a guy who, you know, just lost his wife, he was still burdened with the grief. It bothered them to marry a 12-year-old, which I understand. But he wasn't willing to make the hard choice here, so he went with someone he had connected with, without knowing that the only reason why she's close to him is because her dad is pushing for it. Every time she does things, and that sucks because I feel for her, I feel like, you know, she's really trying to make things okay, but she said, you know, about Rhaenyra, that when she wants to, like, she's gonna marry, like, she's trying to help her friends still, understanding that did not happen for her. She did not make a choice. She was used, and this is the reality of a lot of people, so she's trying to make it better for Rhaenyra. Like,
yeah.
The king doesn't understand that he's being played in that way, which sucks, and yeah, he's gonna make it difficult because, yeah, he got a son, and I love that he's sticking with the decision to make Rhaenyra his heir, but it will create war later.
Was he really sticking to the decision?
He said he was. He did. The fact that he told her, you know, at one point I was wondering myself, like, if I make the right choice.
Unfortunately, I don't think that, even though he said that he was naming her his heir, he put, like, he stand his own, like, she's my heir, she's gonna be on the council, she's gonna be there for the important decision, like, I'm taking her seriously as my heir, and she has a duty for the realm.
He's still not doing that, but he stuck by her, and this episode, the fact that he told her that he had doubts at one point and he still chose to, you know, I'm gonna stick by you, I'm gonna, you know, be on your side, that to me makes him sound genuine. And I hope he doesn't change his mind later on, but it sounds like he doubted. And yes, he did admit that at first he named her his heir only to push Daemon away. So all of that, he said it. If he had, you know, hid it and just said, no, you know what, don't worry. I'm like, you're not telling her you had doubts, so that means you're still doubting. So we can't really trust you. But no, at this point, he told her about the doubts, so I'm trusting him more.
Well, if he's certain right now, I'm hoping that he's gonna act on it and ask her to do her duty as heir.
But by
and
not...
take matters with the realm, you know?
But still, just by remarrying and having a son, it created a problem. Some people would rather follow Aegon, even though he's a baby. Eventually, he'll be a grown up, and he's a man. People would rather follow a man in those days, especially. They would look over Rhaenyra, just like they looked over Rhaenys at first, and they chose Viserys to begin with. Like, so, whenever he dies, yes, she's probably gonna be queen, but there's gonna be fights over, you know, who should really deserve the crown. Kind of like Daemon right now is causing trouble, you know, when it comes to him and his brother. Even though his brother is the eldest and he gets the crown, he's not the perfect king in the eye of a lot of people. So Daemon is making himself the champion of those people. We'll talk about him later, but I'm just saying that by not listening, and that's what I said, I agree with that, by not necessarily listening to his counselors, still doing what is expected of him, but doing it his way and avoiding responsibilities as much as possible, he is creating a lot of problems. So yeah, he didn't marry Lena, so that led to Lord Valerian, to
Corlys.
My memory's really bad with names, I'm sorry.
Just say Lord Valerian. Then.
That made him turn to Daemon, which led to this. By, you know, what was the other thing he did this episode? Damn. The marriage. Okay, by, you know, by listening, I get it. Like, I love that as a father, he chose not to push her, but still by not listening to the best match she could have, which again is to join with House Valerian, by allowing his daughter to make the choice herself, he's leaving it up in the air, which still leads to her claim not being strong enough right now. Depending on who she marries, who knows? Like, it could be great, it could be really bad, but she is in a position of trouble, and she doesn't necessarily get it, because when you're a child, you don't think of your parents' death as being close, you know, like you don't imagine that your dad could die tomorrow, but we know he's been struggling with wounds and infection, like he could literally die next episode, we don't know. But if that happens before her claim is strong, her family has been built, she has heirs of her own, people would turn to her brother.
They're gonna turn on her, yeah.
Yeah, so it's dangerous. That's why I'm like, in that case, he is not decisive enough, because he cares about his daughter's decision, her happiness, and all of that. It sucks because as a person of modern time, I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, I love that he's doing that for her. I like that, but I understand I'm trying to understand the politics of it, and I'm looking forward to her
not
future.
Making sense.
Well, I'm worried of her future, especially since I now remember what they said in Game of Thrones happens to her, unless there's another Rhaenyra. I do know her future, and I'm not going to say it if you are watching House of Dragon and you don't remember what happened in Game of Thrones and what they said. But I do remember, and if it's exactly what happens in this show, my worries are fine. Like, my worries are fun. Yeah, they're not stupid. In any case. So yeah, the whole Daemon thing, what he did, I mean, yeah, I get it. After 3 years of fighting, choosing to be like, I'm the better, you know, I'm the true heir to the throne. My brother is not a good king. I would be better. Like, after claiming all of these things and starting a war, if he had not been able to finish it, if he had turned to his brother for aid, it would have been like, I failed. I'm a laughingstock. I can no longer do this. Like, you would have been the thing is, everyone was saying, if you join the war to Viserys, you're kind of giving, you know, them reason, or you're showing that you're a weak king. But when they call for aid, in the end, to show up, you can twist the narrative in your favor.
I'm the savior. Yeah,
by saying, okay, see, they tried something without my say-so, and they lost. So I had to show up and help them, and I won.
So I'm gonna say good job to Daemon to say that I'm gonna go down there, I'm gonna be bait, I'm gonna bring them out from the cave, and I'm gonna take that piece of crab feeder shit.
He took things into his own hands. He not only kicked ass, but I was actually proud of him. I'm not saying I like Daemon at this point in the story, but I got respect for him this episode. That he went there himself. This is something his brother doesn't do. I know when you're the king, you can't technically do that, but still, this is where, you know, my love for characters that do shit themselves, you know, comes in.
It's interesting because usually with Targaryens, when they are dragon riders, most of the time we only see them on their dragons. They're not clothed.
You say that based on what exactly? On Daenerys?
Daenerys, the son of Velaryon, and Daemon. When you are like a dragon riders, you fight from a far point, okay, a long shot. So to go down there, be on foot with other soldiers, to dirty yourself with your soul and be drenched in blood, I applaud you.
I'm not seeing it as he's a dragon rider as much as he's royalty. He's not like kind of like I'm comparing it to Viserys killing the stag. They all did the job themselves. The others did the job themselves. They immobilized the stag, and he got in and did the killing blow. So for him, it's like everyone else works and he takes the prize. Whereas for both Daemon at the end here and also Rhaenyra earlier in the episode, they were put in a position where they had to do it themselves. They couldn't count on anyone. He was the best bait because they would have come out for him. He's the dragon rider, like he's the prince and stuff. So him being there was the best bait. He could have chosen to be like, no, you know what? I value my life more. I'm choosing to turn to my brother, but his pride took over, and so he did things himself. Kind of like her fucking her kingsguard could not save her.
Sir Creston.
Yeah, so she had to defend herself, and they both got bloodied. They both took matters into their own hands. Even if you can't really compare the two, because one is just a ceremony, like it's a hunt based on etiquette and all of that, and the other is war and fucking survival. I'm still choosing to compare the the 3 moments, saying that they take matters into their own hands and they get down in the dirt to do shit themselves, whereas he is not willing to do that. So they get my respect more when it comes to personality and what they're willing to do.
But even so, I'm not trying to compare, but if you recall, when King Robert went into the hunt and got killed by the boar, he was still hunting that boar. He was drunk, but he was still hunting that boar. And he got killed doing so.
Yeah.
Viserys wasn't hunting that stag. He was drinking in his tent, waiting for his men to locate it, trapped it, and when they done it, he went there and did the blow.
Yeah, first of all, we can't really compare the two. We were not at the hunt with Robert. We don't really know what happened, and it's not necessarily how it should go, a royal hunt. You would not willingly put your king in danger when it's a hunt for fun for the prince's birthday. You don't want to put the king in danger for something so trivial, technically. You don't want to put your king in danger at all.
Point.
So why, that's why I'm saying technically we should not compare the two. Rhaenyra had no choice but to defend herself, and Daemon started a war. He had to, it was either he gives up and loses all claim, or he shows up, does the job and stuff. What he could have done was send someone else, force someone else to go, and he chose to do it himself because pride. He's a great warrior. So I'm still gonna compare it because it's no mistake that they put all of that in the same episode, but technically you can't really blame the hunt for being like that. This is how a royal hunt goes. And Robert, I said it episode 1, Robert was not a king. Robert was a warrior. He preferred to be a warrior. He wanted to do things himself. Being a king destroyed him.
Yeah.
So yeah, the hunt was probably the closest thing he could get to, being on a battlefield.
The thrill of it.
He wouldn't even be allowed to, join tourneys or anything because people would let him win. When you don't put the king in danger. So, technically, when you take the actual moment, you can't really blame Viserys for how it went. He's not a warrior, and it's a hunt. It's a royal hunt. If he had to fight for his survival, yeah, we could definitely compare the two. But still, personality-wise and character-wise, I feel like both Rhaenyra and Daemon are more willing to dirty themselves and do the job, which is why I think they put all of this in the same episode to compare them, even if we can't really do that. So yeah, he was a beast. I'm a bit sad we didn't get to see him destroy the crab feeder, but everything else was pretty cool. I love how they kept the sound muted because we're in his head. It's kind of like he tuned down everything, and at one point he was, he expected to die too, so he took those arrows like a champ. And you were saying dragon rise and stuff, no, it's a good thing that there was one person on a dragon right at that moment to save his ass. That was the plan, and it was also his plan to send Daemon over there, so I'm glad that they listened. Yeah, so Daemon after this is gonna get the support of those who were saved by this, and the respect of the people that were over there. So he's gained a powerful, like we said, powerful ally.
Yeah.
He's still not going to be loved at court, but then again, the people at court follow those in power. So as soon as, like, if he manages to get power in any way, you know, possible, if he gets power, and Viserys loses it, they'll switch sides in an instant.
True.
It's about money, it's about life, it's about power. It's about, it's about drive, it's about power.
Oh man, I still feel bad for that guy at the beginning though.
For what?
For that guy at the beginning.
What guy? Oh yeah.
I mean, you're nailed down on the ground, being eaten by crabs, and your savior comes to yay, Prince Daemon, my savior, and you're just being crushed.
But I think to me it's a great moment to show us what people over there will see Daemon as, but also to remind us that he's not doing this to be a savior. This is where maybe, you know, Daemon's supporters, people who love him and stuff, like they would argue with me over that, but right now he has not done anything to, you know, that shows that he's not anything but selfish, that he's not doing this for himself.
Do you think though the fact that he went down there on foot to do the deed himself might maybe change something?
I'm pretty much sure the only reason he did that was because he got fucking mad that his brother had to come and save his ass, and he did not want to accept that, so he chose to end things right away.
Probably.
The way they were doing it was not doing shit for their cause, so he's not doing it to save anyone, he's doing it for advantages. It's all about what he can gain from it. Like, he did not do that for the people. That's why I think they literally showed us him trampling on someone by accident. But that's because he doesn't care. Like, I said it several times, the dragon has aim. So if he had tried to be careful, because he knew some people were probably still alive down there that needed saving, but he didn't really give a shit. He's there to defeat the enemy. And those that die in the process are just casualties. But I'm still liking him as a warrior, by the way. I think he kicked ass and he was pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes.
What do you think about the water art that showed to Rhaenyra?
I'm seeing it as a sign.
Yeah?
It shows Rhaenyra as, you know, the chosen one. You're the future, you know, queen.
You're royalty.
Well, she is royalty, but the fact that they were all saying this, you know, oh, we spotted one, it's a sign that your son is going to be king. Like, they're trying to manipulate him into choosing him as heir, especially Otto, because it would help his house, him being his grandson, to make him heir. And if that doesn't work, marry him to Rhaenyra. So just subtly, not subtly to us, but still trying to be
It is not subtle, not at all.
Well, he's still being a good player. I've seen better, but he's still being good. Trying to, you know, give the king little pushes, but still make it sound like it's his decision to choose his son over his daughter. By saying that it's a sign of royalty and blah, blah, blah. But then the stag just being like, ha, fuck, I'm choosing your daughter. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Alright.
So that's pretty much it for episode 3. Next episode, I am excited to see if we're going to still jump ahead a few years. I know we're going to change actresses eventually.
Eventually, maybe.
But, like, we've been jumping a lot. Like, the rhythm... The episode the rhythm of the episode is great, but in between episodes they've been jumping ahead like crazy. I feel like we're in Vikings.
Yeah, but we need to go through in times like ASAP. You know, we don't have that many seasons for House of Dragons, I guess.
Who knows? I don't even know how many seasons they're gonna have.
At least maybe a season 2.
Yeah, definitely a season 2. It's HBO. Okay. They don't cancel shows for the sake of it, for the fun of it. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next 2 episodes right away, they are on Patreon already. You can check them out. The link is in the description below.
And if you don't want to, the next one will be on YouTube next week, guys. We're gonna see you then.
Bye.